Hello everyone, it's Darkseeker here again. Welcome back for another video. So today I'm featuring a Renolock deck courtesy of a friend of mine, a follower of this YouTube channel. His name is Gerald, and yeah, this is his Renolock deck. Now, what is interesting about this deck is that it doesn't include all of the typical cards that you'd expect to see in Renolock. So, for example, there is no Mal'Ganis in this deck. There's no Godfrey. And I think the reason for that is because Gerald doesn't own those cards. So whenever you see pro players playing Renolock and you see all of these expensive cards being played, and you can assume that, oh gosh, you can't play Renolock unless you've got Godfrey or Mal'Ganis. Sure, it does make the deck a little bit weaker if you don't have those legendary cards. But the beauty of Renolock is that you can substitute in other cards that still have an impact. And that is what Gerald has done. He's put in Faceless Manipulator, for example, very useful when you want to copy a Voidlord, very useful when you want to copy a Sylvanas, or when you want to copy one of your opponent's minions that has extremely high value. And I've watched Gerald play this deck, and I've seen him get great value on Faceless Manipulator. Primordial Drake is another card included in this deck, and that was a deliberate inclusion. Gerald wanted a late game AoE or board clear that could clear tokens. I mean, the meta at the moment, particularly as we head into the start of the January season, it can be a very aggressive meta. So having a Primordial Drake can do a bit of work. So we're going to have a look at a couple of games with this deck in action, recorded at the end of the December season. And starting out against a Shaman here, this was very unfortunate for me. He had a Windfury effect on the Flamewreath Faceless. And even though I managed to put some taunts down on the board, there was nothing I could do here. And sometimes that just happens, right? Even Shaman, Windfury, 4 mana 7/7s, what can you do? Okay, this next little highlight against a Paladin. Now this is the kind of Paladin that likes to convert health into armor and then heal up. And with this particular board in play, I have the Emperor down. So we've already got one discount from the Emperor. The aim now is to try and get a second discount. We do have a Dirty Rat in our hand with Bran on board. Now, he's going to prioritise on killing the Emperor here. Bran Bronzebeard is a very, very likely to survive. So I have a number of options that I could go for next turn. Ooh. And he's going to draw cards. Not so sure why he played that first. But yeah, we've got a number of options. We can Kazakus Potion next turn. We have Faceless Manipulator, perhaps on the 5/7. We have Gul'dan, who costs 8, which is pretty cool. It means we can fit in a hero power. We also have Dirty Rat. And Dirty Rat costs 0, so we could Rat and then Potion, perhaps. Alternatively, we could Rat Umbra Sylvanas. There are different things we could do. Ooh. The Emperor and the Healing Tiger. That's pretty good. And he just concedes. Wow. So wrecking whatever combos he had planned there with the Emperor. Feels good. Okay, we're back to facing the Even Shaman, and I'm looking at this hand here. I'm thinking Librarian's good for 1. Dark Bomb, Defile, Hellfire, it can take down you know, some early totems, Flame Tongue Totem. Maybe keep the board clear early.
Our curse into our strength.
Obviously, we're concerned about 4-mana 7/7s. We're concerned about Windfury. It'd be nice to have Reno in hand for turn 6, because that could be what we come to rely on for survival, perhaps. That Faceless Manipulator could be very interesting for us. Copying a 4-mana 7/7 sometimes it can confuse your opponent, particularly if there's nothing else on board. When it comes down to it, they then have to make a decision on whether to go face with their 4-mana 7/7 or whether to trade into yours. So that is quite an interesting play. And this is a very easy defile. In fact, a super value defile. We get rid of the Flame Tongue Totem. That's brilliant.
Trust me.
And there it is. Turn 4, 4-mana 7/7. Of course. So we are going to copy it. And or we could play the Sludge Belcher. See, that's another potential play. But I like using the Faceless here. Doomsayer could block 7 damage, perhaps, for a turn, but doesn't do much else. So here he has to make a decision. He's got 3 mana, so he's overloaded. He may have Devolve, which would be very problematic. No, it's just going to go face. Fair enough. And that is the correct play. You do go face. But now, I'm using that Flaming Faces to get the trades in that I want. And I have a Siphoned Soul in my hand for his Flaming Faces. So, we're in an interesting position here. Thankfully, no Devolve. Invests the Jade Lightning, fair enough. So on initial impressions, you look at Siphoned Soul and you think, okay, that's the play. You have 6 mana, we have a Siphoned Soul. We could then trade the Ooze into the 1/1. The trouble is, it leaves 2 other things on the board. So then he gets value on another Flame Tongue Totem, for example. We have a play that clears the board. It's a big investment. It's a 2-card investment. But the board is clear. And I prefer that. And now we can use Siphoned Soul on something else. Like that, for example. He's just rolling out all of his threats as quickly as he can here. But Siphoned Soul is decent. And now he hasn't been able to kill me. And as we head into turn 8, we have Twisting Nether available. We have Primordial Drake available too. Draw last. Sure. Reno Jackson would be a really nice pickup, but we just got to hope that he can't kill us from here. Our health total is very low, so Crackles, Jade Lightnings are a real concern for us. Ah, there's a Crackle. And does he have another one? Oh, he has another one, of course he does. But he had to invest that in Primordial Drake. So already I think the Drake here is showing its worth. So Gerald, if you're watching this, well done for taking in Primordial Drake. I mean, it helped out there. But we really need Reno at this juncture.
Elements I like.
Iron Cowl also a interesting inclusion in this deck, as opposed to Spellbreaker. So we're just gonna Twisting Nether here.
Elements I like.
That's a reasonable result. Getting out the other totem card. And once again, we're sitting here at this very low health total. At the very least, though, he's not had an opportunity to Windfury us with something big, so... And there he is. And that should just be the concede. I mean, he can't win from here. He has a reasonable health total, but he can't win from here, surely.
Warriors of the frozen wastes.
Oh, be bold. That's not bad. We actually get 5 attack and get an increase in attack power. That's pretty good. Give both players the power to rock. We could Zola that, just for laughs, but no, we're not going to do that. Now, I said earlier he can't win from here. Well, that's a Lich King, which I wasn't able to kill. So now, yes, he does have a potential out, potential way of winning. A few turns of drawing Lich King cards, and oh my god, he's putting Windfury on the Lich King. Oh, that really sucks. What is worse than 4 mana 7/7 hitting you with Windfury? The Lich King hitting you with Windfury. And all of that healing from Reno suddenly just negated instantly. Dirty Rat is a bit of a problematic card in this matchup, but you don't want to be pulling Flame Wreath Facelesses or things from below or Sea Giants onto the board. So it's probably best used when he's got an empty hand. And still, even at this point, he's still able to load up the board in quite a substantial way. But 2 taunts now in the way. We've seen Devolve, right? Yeah, that's it. And if we needed it, we had the Zola value on the Zoth. Feels pretty good. Okay, so Gerald's Renolock with Spirit Singer Umbra, with Primordial Drake and Faceless Manipulator. It's a fun deck to play. Okay, and it should give hope and faith to all Hearthstone players out there in wild mode that if you don't have all of the key cards, all of the big legendaries, you can still substitute other cards in and you can win games with this deck. So if you're interested in Renolock, I mean, obviously, if he didn't have Bloodreaver Gul'dan, if he didn't have N'Zoth, then it's certainly somewhat problematic. Although, having said that, I have seen builds of Renolock that don't play N'Zoth, because in an aggressive meta, the justification is that N'Zoth is too slow. And actually you never really get a chance to play him, that Bloodreaver Gul'dan alone is enough, and as long as you control the board, deal with aggressive minions, a final push with Gul'dan, with Void Lords, or a Void Lord I should say, coming back to life, is just enough to win the game. So yeah, interesting times for Renolock. So thank you very much for joining me, everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you to Gerald for the deck. I'm going to ask Gerald to be active in the comments section below to answer any questions that you have regarding his Primordial Drake Renolock. Yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please give us a like and a subscribe. And I'll see you all again very soon for more Wild Mode fun.